as Walter makes a run ahead of him. Bergkamp suddenly changed pace through the centre. It's Bergkamp! That's magnificent! The move, and then this, which left Dabi's ass totally stranded.
Hello and welcome to Bergkamp Wonderland, the podcast that is never knowingly on time for anything. We won't tell you what Travis was doing, but it started with a dog and it ended with a poo. So that's why we were 2 minutes late. But the other 20 minutes is all down to a certain scumbag down the bottom. He's let us all down. He's ashamed of himself and he's written everybody an apology. There you go, his internet's going wrong already. Fuck's sake. Right, with us, making his debut is Travis in the top right-hand corner in not sunny LA, US of A. A lot of letters there, Travis. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Danny. How are you?
Well, I am. I've been eating Pringles and day-old mashed potato. And for me, that means life couldn't get any better, even if I tried.
Excellent.
And you had sausages.
I had sausages, some bangers, potatoes, and gravy. It was excellent. Lovely.
Well, I'm going to ask Chris where he is because his internet isn't working again. He tried it on his iPhone. It didn't work. And then he tried it on his missus' laptop, couldn't get into it. And now he's using the tablet from work. And I think it's a tablet that you may need to eat your dinner off of because it's not working. Oh, dear. Right. While we're waiting for Chris to see if he can get closer to the internet, I'm going to go and say hello to all you beautiful bastards. Oh, what did he swore then? Can't swear. YouTube don't like it. You wonderful people in the chat who have been waiting patiently for so long. Stefan is there. Phil Macker. Loki. Who else is in there? Oh, you are in there. Travis AFC. Pete Coulson. Boy 10. Oi, oi. Jim Eves. Phil getting cheeky. Might as well talk amongst ourselves. What do you think of Tottenham? And then the obligatory answers from everybody. BX Gunner is there. Hello, BX. Got two of your countrymen on here, fellow countrymen. Loki says chicken fiddlers. Oh, look, here he is.
Hey.
I forgot to connect to the Wi-Fi.
So you were connected to your 5G?
Yes.
And that didn't really work, did it?
No, I mean, it was funny because it was like our conversation in the beginning was fine. And then as soon as you started skipping, and I was like, "Oh, Jesus Christ, here we go again."
Not good. Anyway, I've already introduced Travis, and I think everybody knows who Chris is. Recently married. Look at him, all loved up and happy as a newborn lamb. How are you, sir?
I am fantastic, man. Thank you for asking.
Good. I do enjoy your Instagram with you down holes like a troll, covered in dirt and shit and piss and all that other lovely stuff. Life-saving work. Well done. I'm just saying hello to the people in the chat. Pete Coulson is there. Who else haven't we said hello to? Sai is there. Remember, people, hashtag Sai out because he's an infiltrator. I'm not sure of what with. Steph's saying get on with it. Good God, man. Mr. Waffles, a fellow American in Portland. Oi, oi. Who else have we got here? John Hazy. Hello, John. BX is there. Another American. Keysby Knight. I've got no idea where he's from. And Loki says there's too many beards. That is, it's 100% beard. Which is
no
nice.
Such thing.
And Sai and Steph's coming straight in there with Sai out. Oh, they're on your case, Sai. You've been rumbled. Right. They're all Arsenal fans, obviously. We have a little WhatsApp group which is called what have we called it? The Nerd Community Chat Room with Chris and Daniel and me and Ellis and Josh and Steph who's in the chat. And
I think we named that after Steph kept just putting his nerdy video games in there.
Yeah,
Steph's not a first-person shooter game. He's a open world, wants to explore type.
He's a nerd. He's a nerd.
Yeah, because I'm not a nerd. I don't know why I'm in there. Sometimes it goes quiet for weeks on end. Then all of a sudden, someone will put something in there, and everybody will be typing away like an angry badger. So, not sure what causes that. So
we have another one where it's Ellis and Josh and Stefan and Chris and I, and that one's called "Fuck Scum, Fuck United."
Oh, is that the old FIFA team one?
It was the old ABW FIFA WhatsApp group.
I see. Oh, Steph says he's a nerd. Travis, tell people how long you've been a Gooner and how you became a Gooner.
I've been a Gooner since 2007. Basically, my buddy got me to play FIFA with him a few times, and I was hooked on the game. So I went out and got it for myself, started playing some clubs. And back in the day when you were playing clubs, you didn't create a pro. You just played with a team. And everyone was using United or Liverpool. And to be different, I chose Arsenal. And because I was playing a lot with Arsenal, I started watching some of their matches. And I was like, damn, these guys play beautiful football. I am an Arsenal supporter.
Hey. And how's it been for the last 16 years? Mostly
Haven't seen one Premier League title. So it's been rough. A couple of FA Cups. Those were nice. The football this year has just been great, though.
Still better than being a Spurs fan, though. You'd be in your 70s by now if you'd have seen them do anything.
Yeah.
Phil's accusing me of being a nerd because I play Football Manager. How dare you, sir? Pete says, any new PSVR 2 owners out there? No, I've seen people tweeting their pictures of it. Steph says,
I don't even know what that is.
PlayStation Virtual Reality, maybe?
Yes, they brought out a new one. Steph says, I am literally, don't use the word literally, playing with a chat GPT in Python. Don't use chat GPT. It's run by Microsoft and they are the enemy. BX, it says FIFA 05. 05 popped my cherry. Arnie Arneson is here. Are you only about 20 years old? Who's 20? How can none of us... I think Chris is the baby in here. I mean that good-looking fellow down there.
I mean, comparatively to you two.
How long have you been a Gooner for, Chris? I don't think I've ever asked you.
Yeah, we talked about it a while ago, but I want to say 2012.
Yeah. Oh, right in the sweet spot of being absolute dog shit for years after year after year. So
yeah, right around when we got Mesut Ozil.
So for you two, this is the height of your Arsenal supporting careers. Amazing.
This is. It actually is.
It was.
Well, we had the 2016 where we were in the lead for a while, and then we lost it to Leicester, which was just unbelievable.
That wasn't as fun as this season, though. That's
not
for sure.
At all. That was not as fun.
But having someone who's been knowingly watching it all since about 1985, I'd say, the closest team that we've had to this ever is the George Graham era, but with the flair of no, they had a lot of flair back then, but all the young players coming from playing for Arsenal as a kid. So that's reminds me most of, but they're all pretty decent. Loki's got some facts here. Loki's sober facts. Arsenal's biggest win against Leicester is 8-0, and the biggest loss is 7-2, and the biggest draw is 6-6. Taking me out of a job there. There's no need for that, is there? Talking of results, let's go and have a look at we'll do it in this order. We're going to go and have a look at where you can see and hear the match. Arsenal are top of the league, if anybody didn't know that, but yet their next 3 games are not on telly unless you have a certain IPTV that we do not condone at ABW because it is wrong and it is illegal, and I would have nothing ever to do with it. So I'm going to have to listen to it on Radio 5. Travis, pick a country and I'll tell you what channel it's on.
United States.
Oh, all the way down the bottom. It is on Sirius XM FC. I don't know what that is. And Peacock. Is that right?
Peacock, yeah. Or USA. Depends if they pick the game.
Travis.
Peacock.
You pick a country, Travis. Pick an easy one.
I just did. Okay, I'll pick...
Oh, no, Travis. I mean, Chris. No, you picked USA. Chris, you pick one.
Easy one, huh? How about Lithuania?
Oh, for Lithuania. I'm not looking at you. That's why I forgot who you are. It's on Setanta Sports 1 and Viaplay Lithuania. I didn't even know Setanta Sports were still going. Yeah, it helps when I'm looking at you two, then I know what I'm talking about. I'm looking at a different screen. Right, as a quick injuries update, Jesus, an update today. Quote, he's doing more and more on the field. The knee's not reacting, so it's positive. We want him back quickly, but respect the timeline of the doctors and the specialists. He's really pushing the boundaries. Lovely. Thomas Partey, again today, a quote, there's a question mark on Thomas. He hasn't trained much, but he looks like he could be available. So let's see how he trains today. And we all know El Neni is out for the season. And Leicester, They got someone called Justin James is out. Ryan Bertrand, he is out with a knee injury. Johnny Evans, their centre-back, he is out with a thigh injury. And James Maddison is a late fitness test, so they're going to have to assess that. So hopefully James Maddison doesn't play because he, as we know, is one of their best players. Now, looking back through history, I always go back the last 3 games in the Premier League, whether it's home or away. So 3 games ago, we were managed by Unai. We went there on the 9th of November 2019 in the before times, when everything was good. They beat us 2-0, Jamie Vardy and James Maddison. And then the time after that is going to be, get rid of that one. Boom. Next one was the 28th of February 2021. We went there and we smashed them 3-1. David Luiz in the 39th minute, Lacazette of a penalty in 45th minute, and Nicolas Pepe in the 52nd minute after Yuri Tielemans put them ahead after 6 minutes. Lovely jubbly. Mikel Arteta was manager then. And the last time we went to Leicester and played them in the Premier League, I've already done that one. Hold on.
Last year.
I was working left to right. So the last time we went and played them, so I did the 2-1. I'm scrolling down to the bottom of the screen now. Was it 2-0? Yes. It was 2-0. 30th of October 2021. Post the dark times. Gabriel in the 5th minute, ESR in the 18th minute, absolutely smashed them. And most of the team that played there are still available today, apart from Lacazette and Aubameyang up front. Chris, what memories have you got about playing against Leicester? Anything stick out?
I mean, the header from Danny Welbeck in the season of hope that I partied my ass off for, that ended in tragedy at the end of the season. But yeah, I mean, that's the biggest thing. And then there's also that goal with Oba and Ozil that was orgasmic, that was under Emery. And then we were shit that season afterwards too. But yeah, I mean, those are the 2 that really stick out in my head.
How about you, Travis? What memories have you got against playing against the mighty Leicester?
Well, I was going to also mention the Danny Welbeck, but since Chris took that one, I'll go with the Xhaka being offside and blocking the view of the goalkeeper for Oleksandr Lacazette header that should have been a good goal. And then, of course, that was the game that Jamie Vardy did not start. And everyone said, oh, well, I know how this one's finishing. He's coming off the bench and scoring a late game winner. And what did he do? Came off the bench and scored a late game winner.
Arnie Arneson in Iceland wants to know what channel it is on. I think he's testing me. It is on Simin Sport. There you go. So I'm going to close that window now. See, we do care about our Icelandic viewers. Wonderful place. And my cat hasn't been up on the table all bloody day. I'm doing a show, and it's time for her to show her ass. Dora, no one wants to see your ass. Sit down. And lots of numbers says no. Jesus back until April. Loki's or borrow your mate's Australian account, maybe. I don't know what you're talking about. Here we go. Here's a quick question for you, Travis. Pete wants to know: are we happy with Sporting Lisbon in the Europa League draw?
I think, yeah. To be honest, they've sold a few of their better players within the last 12 months, and I've not seen them play too much, but they've not scored a goal against us in the last 4 times we've played them. So could be worse, right?
It could be. How about you, Chris?
Yeah, I'm not worried about them at all.
Well, that's a very short answer indeed. Yeah, they're not the greatest team in Spain, in Portugal. They're not the greatest team in Spain either. Bloody hell. How can I get those 2 places mixed up? But I think we played them a few years ago and we got past them. We'll get past them again. It's just it's a nice place to go. It's not too far away and the weather's nice. So they get some warm weather training because God knows they're going to need it. Steph says he hates Leicester. I quite like Leicester. Do either of you 2 hate Leicester?
I hate Jamie Vardy.
I don't hate them, but I mean, Steph hates everybody. So
Steph's a grumpy old man.
Yeah, he really a grumpy old nerd. Yeah.
Phil Macker makes a good point. The Dennis Bergkamp hat trick, left foot, right foot, and header. Yes, I think I thought I was at that game, but it turns out I was at the 1-1 draw the season before the season after. They're just talking amongst each other. Pete says that cat winked at me. That's cool. She's innocent. Boy 10 says, are we going to play Jesus fresh back from injury? What do you reckon, Chris?
Hell no.
No. Travis?
No, don't do it.
That'd be crazy talk. Graham Denton. I knew some Dentons. Rowley used to live a few doors down. Missed a trick by not naming today's pod a Bergkamp, a beard camp, a bearded Bergkamp Wonderland. Don't too many B's in a row. I mean, it just confuses me. It's there's no need for it.
A lot of alliteration, yes.
There is. Oh, look,
I like
Sir
it.
Nicholas is watching us on Twitch and watching us on YouTube. That makes us look even more than we are, which is nice. Vardy is finished now, so no worries, says Phil. That's right. Graham Denton. Best memory was Vardy taking the ooze and falling into obscurity and dodged a bullet there. Yeah, because there was about 5 years ago. People were even putting little kits up with Vardy on the back of it. Didn't happen. Probably a good job. He only had a season or two in him. So Nicholas says, I like the Leicester badge. It's a nice design. And Steph says, Eddie to do the business tomorrow. Steph's been on the fucking smelling salts again. What a ridiculous thing to say. What was I going to look at? A few players that we have shared in recent years between Leicester and Arsenal. Ignatius Miguel, remember him, the Spanish centre-back? He went there on loan. Who else was there? Kieran Gilbert, a right-back. He went there on loan as well. Stuart Taylor, goalie. He went on loan. Martin Keown. He went there after Arsenal released him in the glory days. Kevin Campbell, the mighty Kevin Campbell, went there on loan. Alan Smith, we bought him from them in 1987. No, 1991. No. Why does it say 2 years? Yeah, 1987. It says here. Was it 87? I don't think it was. 87, 88. No, maybe it was. And he went back there on loan for the rest of that season. And Geordie Armstrong, Jeff Block, Frank McClintock. Everyone knows Frank McClintock, legendary Scottish centre-back for us. We sold him. We bought him from Leicester for £90,000. That wouldn't even get you a signed shirt nowadays. Absolute disgrace. Right, the first thing I want to talk about is with you, Travis. Is Eddie Nketiah good enough to be an Arsenal striker? Because looking at the going back through the last few games, Villa, he had 5 shots. Man City 4. Brentford, he had 1. Everton, he had 2. Man United, he had 6, of which he scored 2. And Spurs, he had 5. So this season, he's averaging, for the last 5 or 6 games, he's averaging about 4 shots on goal a game. Is that enough?
The shots on goal or shots on target? Good enough, but he hasn't been good enough. He's an anomaly to me. His XG always looks good, but something's missing. I think he's a great backup for us. He's Jesus' backup, and I think he's good enough to be Jesus' backup, but I don't think he's good enough to be the Arsenal starter.
Yeah, it is a little bit worrying. Those stats are from a site called understat.com. And yeah, that says, when I highlight it, just says shots. It doesn't say whether they're on target or off target. But Chris, do you think he's good enough? Or would you try and get someone who might be able to score more than 1 goal every 4 or 5 games for us?
I mean, it's hard to say because recently he hasn't been good enough. I mean, I like the shot volume, but, a few games ago, you give him 4 shots, he puts in 1 or 2. I mean, and if he was doing that the past few games, we wouldn't even be talking about it. You know what I mean? But he's just got to tighten up because he doesn't offer enough other than scoring goals to not be scoring goals.
He hasn't been linking the way Jesus was and combining on the left with Marty and with Xhaka.
I do find that he stands around a lot of the time. He looks like he's quite lost. It looks like the new boy at school where he can't quite find a group to mix in with and just stands around with his hands in his pocket waiting for something to happen. And in the style of football we play, that's not good enough. And it is a little bit worrying. But we have absolutely nobody else to come through and play a game, which is worrying because we had this problem last season, didn't we? After the during the January transfer window, we were shouting that we needed a striker because Lacazette wasn't going to score. Aubameyang was a moody twat, and Eddie wasn't good enough. So it is a little bit worrying. Anyone got any questions? Put them in the chat and I will ask these two about it. So, Chris, how do you think the game's going to go? Because looking at the league table, which I forgot to bring up, there's always one window I forget to bring up, isn't there? Leicester at home this season. I do the wide version. Leicester home. They have played 11 games, won 3, drawn 3, lost 5, scored 15 and conceded 13. But yet away, Arsenal are the best away side in the Premier League by quite some way. We have managed to get 28 points from 12 away games, which is 7 more than Man City. So what do you think to that?
I mean, I like it. I think it probably has a lot to do with the way that we play. And when teams are at home, it gives them the impetus to come at us, and we're going to eat you alive if you do that the way that we play. We press high and we create turnovers, and I mean, that's why I was actually looking forward to playing Man City, because just home or away, they're going to play us like that. So, but yeah, I think we'll probably let in 1 goal. I don't think we're going to keep a clean sheet, but I think we're going to put in maybe even 3 or 4 against them.
We have more clean sheets away than we do at home, though.
Really?
That's worrying. We've scored.
I still think they score.
We've scored 24 away goals, Travis. That's amazing. The next highest is, surprisingly, Brighton with 22, and then Leicester with 21 as away goals, but they've conceded 28 away. Do you think there's going to be goals then, Trav? Yes. Do you get annoyed if people call you Trav? Because my mate had a dog called Travis. And
Trav is fine.
Good.
The only one that bothers me, and it's not even really that big a deal, is Trevor. Trevor. People have gone, Trevor. Hey, Trevor. And it's like, okay, that's not my name, but I think it's dependent upon, does Maddison play and is Partey fit? If Maddison doesn't play, I don't know if I see it. If Maddison doesn't play and Partey plays, I predict clean sheet all the way. If Partey's not fit, it doesn't play again, and Maddison starts, then I'm going to go, they probably put in 1.
I mean, looking at Leicester's home form, they are 19th in the table. Only Southampton are worse than Leicester when it comes to home form. They've only won 3. Wow.
That's crazy.
On average, it's 15, 13 goals for against. So there's going to be goals in this. I mean, if we scored 24 goals in 12 away games, that means we scored 2 on average away, and Leicester score 1. So it's going to be a minimum of 2-1. If people, as usual, you put your predictions in the chat, and then I'll save them all and I'll read them all out closer to the end of the show. Chris, what player worries you the most about for Leicester? Because they've got a few decent players.
I mean,
else after that, didn't it? I just went high for no reason.
James Maddison, really. I mean, when it comes to goal, I mean, Harvey Barnes is good too, but I mean, I'd say their biggest threat's definitely Maddison.
Yeah. How about you, Trav?
Harvey Barnes and James Maddison for sure. Harvey's got a little bit more pace. Well, actually, a lot more pace. And we'll be putting Ben White on him. I think Harvey comes off the left. So he's scary, but I think Ben will be up for the task. Maddison has like 9 goals this season on 5 XG or 4 XG. So he scores when you don't expect him to. Yeah.
I'm just looking at their, according to WhoScored.com, they've given a rating. Their highest rated player is Maddison, an average of 7.3 this season, 9 goals, 5 assists. He's played 16 games and 1 as sub. The next highest is their new bloke, Tete, Brazilian, plays on the right. 3 games, 1 goal, and he's got an average of 7.03. And then it's Victor Christensen, who's played 3 games, never heard of him. Wesley Fofana, well, he's gone. Yuri Tielemans. Chris, what do you make of Yuri Tielemans? Have you been impressed with seeing him play?
I was more impressed in seasons past. This season, he hasn't really enamored me, but yeah, he's pretty good. I mean, there was a time where I would have taken him, but not anymore.
How about
Iheanacho
you?
can cause some problems, especially on a counter attack. But our center back partnership of Gabriel and Saliba playing super high up the pitch might give a few counter attacking chances. So we'll see how that goes.
They've got 27 players who have played Premier League games for Leicester this season. 22nd in the table is Jamie Vardy. He's played, that can't be right, 11 games and 12. Is that 23? Have they played 23 games this season? According to this, he's played in all 23 games, 1 goal, 4 assists, an average rating of 6.31, but he is 36 years old. That's weird.
He fell off the table.
He's 36. Jesus.
Yeah. He was 36 the 11th of January. Yeah, he's played,
played 23
games this season. But I think he's remember when Alan Smith, you may not, Alan Smith, when he was a Golden Boot winner for Arsenal and our number one striker, when Ian Wright came to the club, he changed the way that he played football. He dropped deep, almost in a kind of Bergkamp role, would go out wide a little bit. And we know that Vardy used to play, he can also play wide midfield. So I think the roles that he is playing slightly changed. The only goal he has scored this year is the Leicester's FA Cup win at Gillingham. He got an assist then. God, he's got 1 assist all calendar year. That's terrible. Yeah, he's done. It's a wonderful story coming from where he did non-league football, working his way up through the leagues and then winning the Premier League title. That's wonderful stuff. It's a dream. I was saying, Chris, about Eddie's average goal. This is 98. How has he got 5-4-1-2-6-5? All that doesn't add up to 98. I don't know what this site is on about. That's annoying me. It doesn't add up to 98. I'm going to ignore this site. John's done bowled me a googly there. But so he has played. He's got that's his 14 goals as well. That's also bullshit. But Jesus, it says shots when he was playing his last game. Jesus' last game was the 12th of November. We went to Wolves and beat them 2-0. But it's saying the average number of shots per game that he had: 5 against Wolves, 3 against Chelsea, 7 against Forest, 4 against Southampton, 1 against Leeds, 2 against Liverpool. So he's not really a goal scorer either, is he, Jesus? But it's the positional stuff, isn't it, that Eddie just can't master. So my question is, Chris, when Jesus comes back, do you see the team improving massively with him? If so, why?
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think he was doing everything but scoring goals before he got injured, and I feel like we all even felt that was going to turn around because some of the chances he was missing, you would definitely put money on him putting away. And I think that he gets Saka and Martinelli a lot more involved in the game as well. So, I mean, when he was around, those guys were scoring goals left and right. So, absolutely, I definitely see him bringing everybody in the team up a level.
I'm binning this website. Travis, did I ask you how? I asked one of you how you thought the game was going to go, but I don't think I asked the other one, and I can't remember who was who because one of you had a beard, and I don't remember who it was. Who hasn't talked about how they think the game's going to go?
I think it was me.
Speak. Let us know.
Well, I think Leicester like to do a little bit of pressing and counter-attacking, right? They don't really like holding the ball and playing out from the back. It kind of plays into our hands, I think. And it's at the King Power. So I predict a 3-1 as well, as a lot of the people in the chat have been saying. I see Saka taking a 1-0 lead for us.
Ooh, cheeky.
Maybe a 2-0 halftime, going into the halftime 2-0. Comfortable win onto Everton at home to get our revenge. Take our game in hand and 8-point lead going into the next weekend.
That would be lovely. If people are watching me thinking, why am I wheeling around? My foot is killing me because I'm in the electric chair and it's got a metal footrest. It's hurting my foot and I don't like it. And I'm not going to put up with it. And I may well do a swear. Right, that's talking about the game. I agree with both of you. I think we're gonna beat them. For seasons gone by, I think how we play against Leicester is a good judge of how good a team we are in the league. And last season, I think we beat them home and away. One of the early games in the season, I think we went there and we beat them 4-2. And that's when I went, oh, hello. What's going on here then? And like the Liverpool game, that even though we lost it, and the Man City game, but I think we were beating them at half-time. This was one of the games last season where I thought, yeah, I think we've got something here. We could well be Arteta could be working magic. And it turns out he was indeed working magic. And it was lovely to see. Travis, as you haven't, it's your first ever time on. Has my mouse died? This is the second time in the last month that my mouse has died during a show because it's an arse. Oh, no, it's back on. Calm down. Good job of the mouse wasn't over end broadcast, or we'd have seen you all tomorrow. How do you think the season's gone so far, Travis? How much have you been impressed and what players? And just have a chit chat about how wonderful it has been, because we've not spoken about it on the pod before because you've never been on before. So it would have been quite hard to hear what your views are.
It surpassed my expectations by far. I've always been an Arteta supporter, even in the down times. Chris and I have spent hours and hours arguing about Arteta. This guy was Arteta out for 16 to 18 months.
He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Oh, it was not that long. Jesus Christ.
I've always been a huge Arteta supporter. I love his brain, the way he approaches each match. And you could just see something when we were winning. When we were winning games, you could just see something was special there. But I didn't think we were ever going to be this good, this quick. I mean, what can you say about Saka other than he's the best right winger in the world, in my opinion? He's 21 years old and he's unstoppable. I think the only game this season where I thought he didn't look good was the City FA Cup game. And I'm almost positive he was out there at 70% so that he didn't wear himself out for the league. Odegaard's been arguably the best player in the league. When Partey's been fit, he's one of the best DMs in the league. What can you say about Saliba? I mean, I think I was happy that he went on loan last year. A lot of people weren't happy about it. And I think that he grew up and came back to us a man. And wow, that he is so good. There's also news about the contract extension for Saka. We extended Marty. The club did a beautiful thing with El Neni by extending him. I think he's trying to get his coaching credentials. The way that the club has handled the women's game and being open to, different ideas with the murals that are going around the stadium. I'm just proud. I'm proud to be a Gooner.
It is a wonderful time. How about you, Chris?
Oh, I love it, man. I mean, I'm on cloud nine. I made the funniest bet before the season started with a Spurs fan, and he actually made the bet. He wanted to bet me $200 that Arteta would be sacked before Antonio Conte. And my God, does he look like a stupid asshole now?
So how much are you going to get off him, do you think?
$200, because there's no way in hell we're going to sack Arteta.
No, I mean, is he going to pay up? I mean,
hell yeah.
Was he going to do a double or quits on some other crazy idea?
No, I won't even allow it. No, I want him to pay for that shameful bet.
So, Chris, if you had to have a player's name on the back of your shirt this season, who would it be? Saka?
I would go Martinelli, man. I just love him. He's the future of football.
As long as you don't say a goalkeeper's top, because we all know people who wear goalkeeper's tops are deviants. How about you, Travis? What are you going to go for?
If I had to pick one, it'd be Saka. If I had to pick a second one, I'm going Zinchenko. I love Zinchenko. I love his attitude.
Don't you get annoyed about how often he's out of position, though? Leaving poor old Martinelli stranded.
I think it looks worse with Eddie up front because Eddie doesn't link as well with Marty.
Yeah.
But with Jesus, I think I think he is the build-up. I think he keeps defenses questioning what we're doing. His technical ability is unmatched. I don't think there's a better. I think he's got more technical ability than Odegaard, and that's crazy to say. I just love him. I love his attitude. Do you see how he yells at the camera? I mean, that gets me going.
That is, I would have El Neni on the back of my shirt because, as we all know,
the hardworking, the blue collar hardworking class.
There you go, an El Neni Wonderland.
Oh my god,
that is an actual. That's how quick he is. He ran to every position in one photo.
He just can't even. Oh my god!
That picture is available on our website for £9,999.99. Impossible number.
It's almost as funny as Mike buying the Kolasinac jersey.
Oh dear, poor boy. We've had a couple of questions come in from these freeloading scumbags. It's where was it? There was one up here. Pete Coulson always likes to ask a question. So, Travis, this is: are you now comfortable with the Jorginho starting tomorrow, even if Partey is relatively fit? Ooh, sneaky.
That's a good question. Comfortable? Yes. Barely.
Confident?
Now there's another word.
I think that he was played out of his mind against Villa. Defensively, though, we're a little bit more suspect. He just doesn't have the speed to press and to hurry the opposing midfield. And it felt like him and Xhaka is a little redundant, maybe. You know, I wouldn't mind seeing Trossard at the left 8 if we go Jorginho and Marty at left wing. I've been told that that's crazy, though. So.
Oh.
What about Vieira instead of Trossard?
That's questionable.
I just think it's more realistic since we've actually seen him play that position.
Yeah, the last 3 or 4 games he's been coming off the bench and getting 15 minutes in that left 8. So yeah, maybe that's a good shout. You know, maybe Vieira. He's definitely. I think Vieira has the create. He's like a left-sided Odegaard kind of, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How about you?
What do you guys think of that Vieira defensive play at the end of the game when it was 2-2 and they had that break in the 90th minute and it was 2-on-1 and he just backed off. He backed off the dribbler, which was their young, I don't remember the guy's name, but he's their young 19-year-old like winger, Villa's winger that came off the bench.
Ramsey?
And no, he's a new guy. And then he backed off and took away the passing lane. And then right as the attacker was getting to the box, he then cut over and he kind of left Ramsdale out on the island, but it was from an angle that was a difficult shot. And Ramsdale made an excellent save. And you could see that Odegaard was screaming at him to close him out. I think it was a brilliant play to cut off the passing lane, and it was a little slow to close down the shot, if that makes sense. Someone I see in chat is saying Zinchenko in midfield and KT at left back. That could work. That could work.
But we're not seeing Zinchenko play anything other than the left wing.
I mean, he's practically a left 8 coming from the left back. It feels...
Yeah, but surely Arteta's got to see that when he does that, Martinelli is getting no support from anything. And that's why Martinelli's form has dropped. I mean, he's not doing the creativity because he's got nobody behind him. Because when he looks behind him, as we all know, he's going to go, oh, there's nobody there. There's no one to support me. There's no one to help me do a 1-2 and set stuff up with. So why is Arteta doing it? I don't like it. I mean, Zinchenko may look okay in central midfield when he does his inverted winger. How about you, Chris? Do you think it works? Because it annoys the hell out of me. I don't want to see it.
I mean, I think it's maybe not being played the way that Arteta wants it to. I mean, I think he would ideally have Xhaka push a little bit farther forward there and help Martinelli out because it doesn't look like Eddie's going to do it. So, I mean, he's the only other player I could think of to do that. And I mean, a lot of the time he's dropping back and trying to cover for Zinchenko. So, I don't know, man. I just don't see. I mean, even seeing Trossard start there instead of Martinelli, I don't think he's as good as Martinelli in that position either. So, I don't know, dude.
How do we get Trossard
think that-
and Vieira to work? Go on, Travis. What are you going to say?
I was going to say, do you think that Marty looked the best he has this season when KT was starting at left back?
Yep, definitely. Magnificent, because you got someone who's KT's never going to go infield, is he? He's only ever going to run up and down that wing and try to create.
I don't think he can.
No, I don't think he wants to.
I mean, it's hard to say though because Jesus was there that whole time too, though. So I mean, I don't know.
Variables.
I still don't like it though, and it's a bit weird that you got such a great player as Tierney and we've got someone in Zinchenko who can cover in the Partey Xhaka role. He could probably do either of them. But yeah, he goes out and spends 12.5 million on Jorginho when he's got someone in the squad who can perfectly fit in there and then move KT to left back and let him play there. I mean, sometimes if you're playing FIFA, that's what you do. You wouldn't go out and buy a new player because you don't need one. It's just irritating.
I mean, it's hard to say. I mean, what makes us different is the fact that we are doing that with Zinchenko, though. You know what I mean? Everybody else is playing traditional fullbacks, and we're not. I mean, I think it's hard to say. I mean, when it works great. When it doesn't, you kind of question it. But I mean, most of the time, it's been working great. It's just this recent form with Martinelli makes you scratch your head on how to make it better.
Even the most recent goal that he scored, he completely negated slipping the ball over to Saka for an easy tap in and shot it through the keeper's legs. That was like the second or third game after the World Cup break.
Are you on about the goal that he scored against Villa?
Before that goal. I loved that. I loved that, and I loved seeing Gabby Abamlahor cry about it. Oh, shoot those tears in my veins.
I did have the picture here, but I seem to have lost it. That's annoying.
The arms spread out.
Where's it gone? No, it's gone. Someone's stolen it. Someone's stolen my picture. I ain't having that. Where did it go? Oh no, here it is. It's so dark I couldn't see it because it's they've tried to make it look all moody. There you go. That is iconic. And I mean, he was only when you watch the game back, he was only in that position. I mean, he's not even he's floating. Look, his feet aren't even on the floor. Just like some kind of messiah. But he was only in that position for a split second.
Yeah, I didn't even notice.
No?
Not in live time. I didn't notice that he did that. It was
I
the
didn't
replay.
either. Yeah, because he did it so quickly. But that is right up there with the Arsene Wenger when he got sent off at Old Trafford. And he was standing in the stand with all the Man United players behind him and he put his arms out like that. That was another icon. When Martinelli's been at Arsenal until the age of 39 and broken God knows how many records, I want this statue outside the stadium, which will be called New Highbury by then, because Emirates will be.
We had another iconic moment from the Villa game, which was the Bukayo Saka celebration, paying homage to the greatest striker of all time in Henry.
What did he do?
The celebration. He went over to the flag, hands on the hip, leaned against the flag. Pull it up.
You didn't see that, Danny?
No, I saw it. You mean this one?
Yes.
Now that you say it, I mean,
there's a side-by-side with him and Henry, and it's
Saka posted it on his Instagram.
Yeah, he did, and then he posted it. Yeah, check Saka's Instagram.
Oh, then what was this one for? You experts with your words. What was that about?
No clue.
Chris?
I don't know. It's funny. They did that for a split second too. So like these camera guys have got that shutter going, like 1,000 photos a second, catching all this stuff.
Those guys are friends, though. Those guys are buddies. Did you see Marty and Vieira go over and celebrate Jorginho, the Martinez own goal by themselves? They got jumped on by the fans. That was beautiful.
Was that? I think that might have been this picture. That's typical. Is it this one?
No. So the whole team celebrated here.
Yeah.
But as
And they were
all
over
going
on the
to
other side.
corner,
Yeah.
Marty and Vieira found themselves on the pitch and then ran to the fans at about 15 yards up the field and celebrated by themselves with the fans. And those fans, and they actually went all the way to the boards, and the fans jumped on them, like basically dogpiled.
Oh, I see. I'm going to go and have a look in the chat and see if anybody knows what that other celebration was for. Trust the prayer. Phil says, where are we going back to? Boy 10 says, Trossard is a terrible idea up front. Yeah. Our Josh says it isn't going to work. Nick says, it's 11 p.m. Shouldn't you lot be in bed? No, I've got to go and play Valheim after this because I've had my ass handed to me yet again. Finally get new stuff, and I find a new bloody monster who lives on a mountain who's just killed me. These two arguing about it. There we go. Keysby says Martinelli poor form is due to a lack of faith. Expand on that, Keysby. What with his ability or the tactics or the manager? So Nicholas says he's invented a new type of travel, the run fly. Could be. And Chirobi says, are we worried about Arteta's tactics have been found out a little bit? There was some talk about that the past few matches not having a plan B. Travis, what do you think to that?
Maybe a little bit. I think that in football you have to evolve all the time. You know, you're never there, right? And if you don't keep it fresh, there's going to be a lot of video for these other opposing managers to break down. And, you know, it's the Premier League. Every team is good. But it's hard to say because we missed Gabriel Jesus and we missed Thomas Partey and, you know, a couple of new additions to the team and Jorginho and Trossard. And we've been missing ESR all year, and ESR's scored 11 goals for us last year. So maybe a tiny bit. People are catching on to the way we like to play. I just think we're too good to stop.
Keysby says lack of faith, as in his Jesus is missing.
Oh, we were just supposed to assume that. That's brilliant. I like that. But you got to add that.
Do you have an answer to that last question, Chris? Because I forgot what I asked.
I mean, I agree with everything that Travis said. I mean, also, you know, we're missing solid chances too that, you know, we should be putting away as well. And, you know, we've been screwed over by the refs a couple times too. So, I mean, it all forms together in one big feeling, but, you know, you can look back and point at a number of things as to what's going on. I mean, I don't think we've been found out, though. I mean, even when we played Manchester City, we've had plenty of opportunities to take better care of what we did with the ball in that game, put the ball in the net a few times, which we didn't. And, I mean, really, I thought we were – in the first half, I really thought we were the better team. We just overall ended up beating ourselves for the most part.
Yeah.
First half of what game are we talking about?
The Man City game.
Oh, yeah, we were so much better than them in the first half. The second half, I think they were a little bit better than us.
But
we made mistakes. They capitalized. Yeah,
for sure. They are the finished product. They're not even building towards being something. They are where they aim to be. They are top of the tree, and to do anything against them is almost impossible. And we've shown them 2 seasons in a row that we can give them a good fight. And I think our away form at the Etihad later on this season is going to be an important game because it's going to show not just whether we can beat them and beat them to the league, but how we perform against a team, the best team probably in the world, allegedly, at their place, with the pressure on, with the points and everything. I just hope we don't end up on our asses like we did this time. But
I just hope we are full strength squad-wise for that. I mean, if we're full strength squad-wise for that, I absolutely fancy us. But, I mean, if we got no Jesus then and no Partey, I mean, I don't know, man. You can't go to Man City missing some of your best players.
Yeah. Trav, Xhaka, is it time that he had a rest? Because he's looked jaded lately, hasn't he?
He has. And it's the left side that's kind of looked a little off, and he's part of the left side, him and Marty, and that might be because, like you're saying, Zinchenko is playing central midfield and right wing sometimes, and like we've already mentioned, Eddie's link up play with the left side is practically non-existent at this point. But I think I would give him a rest. And maybe not a way to Leicester. Maybe a way to Leicester is actually the time, and then bring him back on against the big boys of Everton, because Everton might not be that great, but they are big boys. Those guys are big and strong. So
I think Jorginho will be used to a little bit of rough and tumble. What about you, Chris? Is it time to give Xhaka a rest? And do you wait until Partey's back and then play Jorginho there? Or do you go a little bit more adventurous and stick someone like Smith Rowe in there? Or because Odegaard could play in the Xhaka role, and then Smith Rowe could come in and play the more advanced role, couldn't he? Or they could both swap around, because ESR can play absolutely anywhere. I would be surprised if he could play in goal.
I wouldn't take Odegaard from where he is. That link up he's got over there with Saka, I wouldn't mess with that at all. Xhaka, I mean, he's got to put up or shut up now. I mean, he's been kind of anonymous the past couple games, and I mean, he's been getting subbed off, so obviously the manager sees it. So I wouldn't be surprised if we made a change there against Leicester, but I mean, I don't know.
Football's also a game of moments, and he's the one that created our only goal against when did we get the penalty where he found who was it? Marty?
Brentford?
No, Eddie. Yeah. It was against Brentford. The game we got robbed by now sacked VAR referee Lee Mason. Yeah, it was he pressed, took the ball back high up the pitch, and dinked it over the Brentford back line to Eddie for the penalty. No, it was against City, because Ederson's the one who clattered into him. Our only goal against City.
Because he was pointing where he wanted Saka to put the ball. Yes.
Or Xhaka.
I remember now. Pete Coulson asks, question, our next 5 Premier League games, you should write the script, Pete, that's a great idea. Our next 5 Premier League games, Leicester, Everton, Bournemouth, Fulham, Palace, how many points from those games can we realistically get? Ooh, Leicester away. Everton is, I'm going to pretend that I know while I cover for time, and I know all these off by heart. We are away at Leicester, home to Everton and Bournemouth, away to Fulham, who drew 1-1 tonight with Wolves, and then we are at home to Palace. What do you reckon? Anyone got an idea of what they are points-wise?
I mean,
There's no reason we can't get 15.
There shouldn't be.
There isn't.
We don't.
Yeah. I was going to say, if we get anything less than like 13, I'll be upset.
Who's the team there that if you draw, you're okay with?
Well, I think at home we won't. You can't beat us at home. You can't draw against us at home unless you're. I mean, Brentford, give them all their dues. They are a really well-run side of a good manager and great players, and they haven't lost a game since October. So that's understandable. Newcastle, well, they just came there and didn't want to play football, and the draw before that was 1-1 Southampton.
Yeah.
In October 2022. So there's a big old gap. That was like 3.5 months gap between those 2 games, and that is the only 3 games we've drawn all season.
Right. We don't. Arteta doesn't ever draw a lot of games. He's no Unai Emery.
So I think we all agree tomorrow we're going to beat Leicester.
Yeah.
I think Everton at home is a 7:45 kickoff, and we'll have had 23? Only 4 days between Leicester and the Leicester game and the Everton game, and then only 3 days again to Bournemouth, and then only 5 days to Sporting Lisbon. So before that, I think we're going to beat Everton. They're not going to do it to us twice. I mean, you saw in Liverpool aren't that great a side, and we saw them in the Liverpool derby that Liverpool quite easily beat Everton 2-0. Do you both think we can beat Everton at home?
Hell yeah.
Yes.
And Bournemouth are a mess. We'll easily beat them. Fulham, they're a decent side, but they do struggle without Mitrovic. I think I mean, that might be the only one I can see where we're going to drop points. Maybe a draw because they're pretty decent.
I mean, I just watched them barely scrape a draw against Wolves. So,
Yeah.
no, I don't. No.
Yeah.
The return of the Leno, we all let a couple in. Still loves us. And then home to Crystal Palace with the mighty Albert Sambi-Lokonga. I think that's his name.
Won't be able to play though. He won't be able to play.
No, yeah, I know you won't do.
Palace always give us a little, they're always tough on us.
Because they like to play football.
They do like to play football. Yeah, I could see that. I don't want to see that, but I could see that.
No, don't want to see that. You want to see them roll over like they used to in the olden days. So, are we all going 15 points?
Yes.
Yes. My Arsenal career has been 15 points, and then we get 9 or 8.
Yeah.
I'm going 15. I'm going to go out on a limb here and go with the.
As long as City don't get 15 in the same span of games, I don't really give a shit. You know what I mean?
And Man City are playing away at Bournemouth on Saturday evening kickoff, 5:30 in the UK. And Bournemouth are dog shit. They've only won one of their last 5, which was they beat Wolves 1-0. So that is going to be a Man City going to trounce them
game
there.
in hand on City.
Yeah.
So.
But they're not going to win every single game, are they? We saw who they played midweek. I was watching them and they weren't that great. Oh,
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, Nottingham Forest.
And then they played in the Champions League again.
We did get a little lucky with that game, though.
Huh?
Yeah,
we got a little lucky.
They got to turn a light on.
Nottingham Forest.
Yeah, I watched that last Sunday.
Yeah,
no, last Saturday night. Yeah, they managed to get a 1-0, but they should have scored loads if they'd have had a better day. And then they played Red Bull Salzburg, and they barely beat them. They looked terrible.
Yeah, Leipzig.
Did they beat them or did they draw?
It was 1-1, and then there was the one guy thought he was playing volleyball at the end of the game.
Yes.
That was a little crazy.
Because they were saying how Haaland just doesn't work.
Yes, they don't look as dominant as they have in the past, but they lost Zinchenko, they lost Jesus, they lost Sterling.
Yeah.
KDB finally looks human.
About bloody time.
Somewhat.
Foden has lost favor with Pep, and then they sold Cancelo, or they loaned out Cancelo to Bayern, but they have an option to buy, and I can't see them not buying.
Yeah, he's gone. Yeah.
Pep doesn't like him. Or he doesn't like Pep, to be honest. And Pep said, if you don't like me, then you're gone.
Oh, dear. Well, anybody else got any more predictions? I've only got 7 predictions for tomorrow's. If you made one, I've kept it. Yeah, one final thing before we go. What NFL teams do you both support?
Buccaneers.
I almost said Oakland Raiders, the Las Vegas Raiders, but I don't really watch too much NFL. In fact, I haven't watched much NFL in the last decade and a half. I can't do 3 plays commercial, punt commercial, 3 plays commercial, punt commercial. I just lost interest. But I grew up a Los Angeles Raiders fan.
So who is the worst sports supporting fan in the USA of any of the franchises, any of the organizations? Who's the worst? Well, the one you go, like in this country, we all hate Spurs fans. We all hate Chelsea fans. We hate Scousers. What one is the one that you go, hopefully it's one of the teams that you two support?
For me, it's the fucking Patriots.
Scumbags.
I say that's a good one. Patriots is a really good shout.
My wife, her father, her whole father's side of the family, they're all from New England, so it's just.
Well, growing up in LA, my dad taught me that if you're a San Francisco Giants baseball fan, you're a piece of shit. I'm gonna go with the Giants.
Eagles fans are bad too. I see that. Yep.
But I think that's a Philadelphia thing, right? Philadelphia just is kind of a shit sports supporting town.
Cowboys is another fantastic shout. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Cowboys are like the Manchester United of the NFL.
They really are. Yeah.
America's team.
Yeah, fuck that.
Right, going to go and read out some predictions. Arneson says 3-1 the Arsenal. Phil says 3-1 the Arsenal. Eddie hat-trick. He's on crack. So Nicholas says Arsenal 3-2. Leicester to get a garbage time goal late on. Sire says 2-1 Leicester, I think. Loki says a boisterous 3-0 the Arsenal. Pete Coulson says 3-1 the Gooners. Eddie brace and a Saka goal. Stefan's gone 4-0 the Arsenal. Boy 10's gone 3-0 the Arsenal. And Nketiah hat-trick. He's been sharing Phil Macker's crack pipe. Mr. Waffles has gone Arsenal by 3. Nick has gone 3-0 Saliba first goal. Is there anyone? Travis is saying 3-1 the Arsenal. I'm gonna go 4-1 the Arsenal, I think, because Leicester are that bad. Their goalkeeper is dog shit. Evans isn't playing, and Maddison is their best player, and he is. And if he isn't playing, they are really going to struggle. Shirobi is going 2-0 the Arsenal with Rodgers divorcing his wife for a 20-something the next day. And I think that's it. Chris,
I don't think we got
one again.
Yeah, we didn't get Chris's.
You said 3-1, didn't you?
Well, I forgot Danny Ward was their goalkeeper. So, I mean, how many shots do you think we're going to have? That's how many goals I think we'll have.
It's Danny Ward, so every shot is a 1.0 XG.
He's so bad, dude. Oh, my God.
Who scores first?
4-1.
Who scores first, Chris?
Who scores first? I'm just gonna go Saka. I mean, he's easy money.
He's our leading goal scorer this year.
The second half against Aston Villa, we had 18 shots, which is the second highest in the second half all season. So I think we're back on fire. Things are looking good, and the Arsenal are going to go on. So we just need to say, come on, Bournemouth, plucky Bournemouth. Have we got any players at Bournemouth? We haven't, have we? No, the last one we had there was Jackie Wilshere. Well, that's it. I think Mr. Waffles has gone Gabriel to score first. Loki has said Martinelli to score first. Lovely, jubbly. And Stefan says, click likes, you scumbags. Get how many thumbs up have we got? Maybe done 16 thumbs up. I don't know why. I don't get out of bed for that. It's disgraceful. You lot are arguing in there about the Paul and BX are arguing. You can call each other names. We don't mind. Yes. So thank you very much, Travis. You've been wonderful today.
Thanks for having me, Danny.
Did you enjoy yourself?
I did. I actually did.
Good, because you were a bit hesitant about coming on. Then you went.
I was a little nervous. I didn't want to stumble over words and bring a bad name to the podcast because I love this podcast. So.
God. Dear, that's impossible to try and make this a bad podcast. It's 10 years of nonsense.
You let Ellis in, so...
I mean, we showed Danny's cat's asshole for 3 minutes in the beginning. I mean, how much worse could it get?
It was ridiculous. Chris, you've been wonderful again. Your internet has been the star of the show, but not letting us down. Do either of you want to say to people where they can find you on the Twitters for people who can't see it on the screen? Chris?
You can find me at The Lion Gooner.
Right there.
And how about you, Travis?
I'll start off by saying I'm just joking. I actually love Ellis. He's a great guy. So I just started an Arsenal Twitter account because my main Twitter account is a lot of Apex Legends, the first-person shooter community, and they were getting annoyed of seeing all my Arsenal tweets. So my new Arsenal Twitter is Wally, W-A-L-L-Y, loves AFC. Wally loves AFC.
Do you want to tell people where they can find you if they think they can take you on at Apex Legends? If they're brave enough?
They can find me by... how would you do that? By going to Wally #4335 on Discord and sending me...
Just tweet him, damn it.
Or tweet me. Yeah, just tweet me and we'll add each other.
Yeah, people might not have Twitter. Some people find it offensive. I mean,
well, then they're losers.
Got it. Yeah, they are. Here we go.
If you search
Sorry,
just
Loki.
my name on Apex, you'll get like 1 million of them. Wally is my name on Apex, so you can't really find me that way.
And how good are you?
I'm a diamond level mouse and key player at age 42.
My God, that's impressive. I don't know what that means.
It's good. It's not great, but it's good.
What's the highest level you can be?
Well, there's only one level higher than diamond, which is masters. And then in the masters, the top 750 masters are considered predators.
Oh, we don't talk about predators here. Not with John's history with the ladies. Oh, right, gentlemen, thank you very much. It's been a wonderful show, and we will see you all later. Yeah, I think that's about it. So we're going to go now, and I'm going to go and get my ass kicked at Valheim. Yes. Right, there we go. And now the outro music is going to be... Which one shall I go for? Oh, he's got an Arsenal mug.
Brilliant.
We're gonna have the Anfield 89 outro. Thank you much, everybody, and we will see you tomorrow night, maybe 8-9 o'clock for the post game show, because I'm not getting out of bed right after the game. Goodbye.
Out it goes to Lee Dixon. Long ball from Lee Dixon. Smith will hold it up, plays it square to Thomas, and Thomas goes inside nickel, and Thomas is there, and Thomas has scored for Arsenal in injury time. Michael Thomas has scored for Arsenal. A ball played through the gap. Thomas was there. He held off 2 challenges, kept his head. By my watch, we are 1.5 minutes into injury time.